my tarot bumblebees, it's Ethany. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're brand new here. Welcome to this little slice of tarot magical space here on the Intertubes. And today I'm sharing so many mass market decks. Like, this isn't even all of them. And there are some real beauties and some real surprises in here. Yeah, there's more. I just couldn't hold them all. So I have had these kind of collecting a little bit in my, I have like a special place for decks when they come in, and I was waiting for a good number to be there before I did this video. I wanted to show you what you'll be getting if you do go ahead and want to buy any of these, and just giving you a bit of a, hey, what's in the box? What kind of cardstock quality, all that kind of jazz. So as always with everything that I share, all of the links for where you can go and get these decks if you do fall in love are below. These are all mass market, and I'll swap over the cameras and we can look through all of these decks together. The Tarot Disassembled is by Jennifer Cooper Stidley, and it is so stunning. I do have to say Wiser has done a really, really great job with this deck. And there is a full, beautiful, big guidebook. And I have to say, this is an absolute freaking smash of a guidebook. Like, look at this. This is a full book. So let's have a look through the deck. The cardstock is beautiful. We have this yellow matte finish. So the idea behind this deck, its standard size, is that we have the cards and then the symbols are what is featured in this deck. And there are a number of ways you can work with this deck. You can use it as a study companion. You can use it as a symbolic kind of recall. You can use it as just for your readings. The backs are reversible, which I really, really love. You can use them as, I've done it even where you've laid out the cards and then you've put charms or runes over it, and then whatever symbols they land on, you focus on that in the guidebook. But it's a really impactful, important study of the cards. I love that each of them has the color in the backgrounds, like they're all different colors. Yeah, I found this to be excellent for study, because sometimes you look at specific cards and you don't always know, or you don't always notice a particular symbol in it. And what's wonderful about this deck is that that's the focus, is you're going to get to learn and understand and know the symbols, and then you can make symbolic connections too, which is something that Jennifer's really good at doing. Like, what cards have got pillars, what cards have got sunflowers, what cards have got feathers, and you can see if there's a connection to those. And we even have the numbers, not in Roman numerals, but in numbers. And it's fun too to like hold it up. I've done this as a teaching tool. I hold it up. And I mean, you can count the wands there, but and see if people can guess. Or, you can be on a call and be like, okay, so this card has got a wreath, it's got a horse and a cloak, and see if people can, guess the cards. There's lots of fun things you can do with this. And the cardstock is so lovely. It's a beautiful matte finish, so you're not going to see your fingerprints in it. They've done a really lovely job with the production. And for the serious tarot student, and for someone who really just loves the focus on symbols, this is for sure a great deck to have. So much, the mitt in the Six of Cups, that we got all the symbols that are in all the cups for the 7. And Jennifer has got a few other decks. There's Tarot Reassembled, I believe, or Tarot Assembled. Then there is the Symbala, like the mandala one. I think I said that right. And I love that one. But everything that is done by Ferocious Ink is done really, really well. Yeah, so like all of these are on the blanket in the 9 of Swords. Such a fun study tool, and as someone who loves visual aids, and I mean tarot is a visual language, it is a visual system. This is perfect. So gorgeous. One of my favorite cards. Chanel, another one of my favorite cards. And Jennifer's also got a really great series on her YouTube channel with a bunch of people talking about different symbols in the tarot, and you should definitely check it out because it's like everyone's perspectives is so different. You learn so much about the cards from learning from different people. Now this book is spectacular. So in this book, the amazing Teresa. Okay. So how to use the book, about reversals and final thoughts, exercises. Like, so this is just like such a great resource. But look at all this. This is mind-blowing. We have all of this information. Not only do we have keywords about the symbols, but then Jennifer goes in really, really deep. I mean, holy heck in a handbasket. Look, that's all for the Fool. And then when you get into the minor arcana, there's still just as much. I mean, come on. And even if you have a different association with these symbols, you're getting so much to pontificate and meditate on and explore. And it's just such a fantastic freaking, and then look at this, index of symbols. Really great if you're looking at, you know, benches or belts or orbs. Like, it's just, yeah. I think this is, I've always said that the amount of work that Jennifer puts into her stuff is astounding, and this is no exception. This is absolutely beautiful. So this is Tarot Disassembled. This is the big guidebook. I totally recommend that you get it because you're going to get so much out of this as a study companion, as a learning companion, and as a reading deck on its own. This is the Galactic Star Tarot, and this is by Alexander Hanley and Pamela Chen, and the illustrations are done by Ksenia Boko, and I just really wanted to show you the box. It's really freaking cool. This is published by Hay House. These are the backs. Aren't the backs amazing? I really, really love these swirling nebulae. Is that what they're called? Maybe. I'm not the most sciencey of science people. I can't remember a lot of... Did I even do astronomy? Probably not. Lovely thick guidebook, which we will get to. Matte tarot stock, no gilding. Standard tarot size. I don't know if Hay House has really cracked the code with their like cardstock, because they were really more into oracle decks for the longest time. So this is very space babes, and this would go so well with the Space Cowgirls and Aliens, I think, Oracle deck. So if you are into the intergalactic, if you like science fiction, if you like Akashic Records or Star Children, all that kind of stuff, this is totally up your alley. I really, really love the very different interpretations of many of the cards. It's really beautiful. And it's something that I was like not quite sure if I would be really into. I mean, I love science fiction. I love fantasy. I played lots of video games. So, I mean, there is a lot of that in this for me, but it's also a very interesting perspective in the tarot. But I've been really enjoying working with this. I've had this for a little while. I've used it in readings and it reads really, really well. So, and what I do love about this is we've got quite a few tarot decks like that are themed from companies like Inside Editions, etc., like Star Trek and all that. And I haven't seen all of them, but again, like they're not always done exceptionally well, whereas this is done so, so well. And everything is fully illustrated. It's all based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. So you're going to be able to read with this super, super easily if you are the type of person who reads the tarot from that vantage point. So simple. I really love the glow of the lights in this, because because of the space theme. But then we have this page of wands, for example, and we do see the pyramids in the Rider-Waite-Smith and their connection to the stars. So everything is done very, very thoughtfully. But yeah, it reads really, really well. I can see this being done. There's the girls. I could see this going down very well at an event or convention. Like I love that Four of Cups. There's some cards in here that I adore so much. And I love this. So this is done so, so thoughtfully. And so this is not always like a theme that I would go to immediately, but I have been so impressed with how it's been done. So cute. So yeah, this is one that is, it's so gorgeous. And I can only imagine the amount of time and effort and work that went into, the art in this. Like each one of these is so beautifully and expertly done. It must have been years. Gorgeous Nine of Swords. Like I love The Fifth Element. Is one of my favorite movies of all time. Lily Dallas Monty Python. Like I love that film. I have since the very first time I saw it. I love the Dune movies. I read a lot of science fiction and fiction books. So this is, Mass Effect is still one of my favorite video game series of all time. Outer Worlds 2 is coming out this month. So there's a lot of things that I really, really love. Like, look at this, how beautiful this is. It's just so gorgeous. So yeah, I'm definitely here for this. And as I mentioned, I have been reading with it. I put it back in order for today. It was one of the ones I remembered to do that with. And it has been reading spectacularly. Like I'd take this if I was going to be reading at a convention for sure. And the book, so you get the information of the card, the retrograde meaning, so like reversal, star guides, messages, and then a mantra, so a affirmation. Okay, and then we've got Lyrians, Pleiadians. So Lyrians are for the wands, Pleiadians for the cups, Syrians and Acturians. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So through the portals, the information, a bit about star seeds and earthers, soul contracts and conscious evolution. So it gives you a pretty good introduction to what's going on, how to use this deck, working with the Galactic Star Tarot, meeting with the star guides, how to read with it, getting familiar with the cards, light energy and activation. We have some spreads here, and then a little love, and then we jump right in. So a solid, like everything is very solidly done. And it's a really, really gorgeous deck. And if you're into the artwork, I recommend giving it a go. It's again, not star children and all that, not necessarily my thing. You know, spiritually, I'm very much more pagan witch, druid, woman of the earth kind of. But this is really fun for when I'm like putting that galactic hat on. This is the Mindscapes Tarot by John Rice. It's 80 cards, and I love the inside of this box here. This is a tarot deck created by John and published by Hay House. And it's interesting. I've looked through it a couple of times, and I'm still, I'm undecided about this deck because it's not my usual thing, which is not a bad thing, but it's definitely not. So we get a lovely chunky guidebook here. Okay. And he is an oil pastel artist. And the artwork is gorgeous. These are the backs, and they're not reversible, so you're going to know straight away whether the card is reversed in your reading or not. The cardstock it's matte and cardboardy, so I don't know. I don't tend to like go on about the cardstock because I don't know. I'm going to use the decks anyway if I really like it. What I have seen of this deck, I really, really like the Major Arcana. They are gorgeous. And it says here that it's a reimagined tarot in the style of classic landscape paintings hand-drawn in oil pastel. Each card opens a portal to a magical realm of forests, seas, mountains, and ancient cities where the landscape changes as the seasons and years pass. I love this High Priestess so much. Really love this. More than a divination tool, this intuitive deck and guidebook filled with actionable advice, journal prompts, and affirmations is a catalyst for personal growth and a source of creative solutions to life's challenges. These Major Arcana cards are fucking beautiful. Beautiful. I love them. Holy heck, I totally and utterly understand what John was doing. I want to jump in here. I love the oil borders. I love that each of the borders is different. It's so perfectly done. We have the sigil here of John's art. We also have the astrology. It's just so freaking cool. And then there's also sigils on the cards as well, and they're in the guidebook. So I think one of the most beautiful things in this deck is definitely the Major Arcanas. I love that this looks like it's burnt. I don't know if it is, but it looks like there's been a forest fire through there. It's just gorgeous. Just freaking gorgeous. And even like you see down here, we've got like the detail in this. And oil pastels is not an easy medium. And then we've got the lover there, but is the other lover going to walk? Are you going to enter in and walk up the stairs? Like, there's a lot you can go with this. Jungle Cruise, but I love that it's the Nile, the Chariot. There's a lot in here that I really, really adore. I didn't look through the deck all the way when I got it or other people's interpretations or other people's first impressions, because I wanted to do it myself. But like this hermit into the cave with the cave drawings and the fire, the spider, I've literally walked into one of those kind of spiders in between the trees. And I've been there, the Roman Forum. I'm going to assume that's the Roman Forum. It looks like it to me. I've been there myself. There's a lot. How beautiful. It's so beautiful. Farm makes total sense. We have this going into maybe a cemetery. I haven't really looked again. Temperance. What a gorgeous representation of temperance with the fire and the water and the alchemy and how land is formed and that earth, air, fire, water expression of all those elements in temperance. Absolutely a busy city, the underbelly of the city, lots of shadows in the city, a literal tower getting, look at the star, which is the cover of the deck and the book. So beautiful. So I adore this so much in the Mages. I would like to go there now, please. I think that's New Orleans, possibly. Just gorgeous. Oh, the catacomb, the extra. I didn't get to go to the catacombs when I was in Rome, but I will next time. And I know there's more catacombs like in France and things like that. Then we have the Great Work as an extra card. So those are the 2 extra cards. And then we go into the Minors. The Minors is a little different. It's like a story being told, and I'm not going to spend as much time going through. But as you can see, it's telling the story of these, in here, the trees, the branches growing and going through changes and coming back. So it's a really, really, really interesting. I would find it very hard if I didn't know a lot about the tarot itself, to work with these in a classic Rider-Waite-Smith way. I love the court cards too. So the Page, the Knight, these portals, the Queen. You could get my Queen of Pentacles. She would be in the Modern Love. She'd be very happy there. And the King. I love that these are these portals. Feels very much like the portals of nature that Jamie Sawyer had in her nature portals. So tides. And what I would probably do with this is put these out and then have, the story of, say, the tides. And then put the Rider-Waite-Smith deck underneath it and do a comparative study. And how does the 8 of Tides inform that Rider-Waite card or back and forth? I should do some videos on that, actually. So as you can see, we've got these portals again. These, so pretty. So yes, for me, it would be very hard to just read with them. But it would be also interesting to challenge myself. But I do like people in my decks, but I do really love this artwork. So it's been an interesting experience going through this, seeing how I could possibly work with it and how it could be used for comparative study, but how it can almost tell you kind of like what season you're in a situation or a relationship or in your life, because it's very different. And I like that it's different. I like that it's not like every, things that I've got. So those were spires or swords, and then we have stones. But it does have its own system, as you can see. And it's really very beautiful. Gorgeous. So it really is a beautiful deck, and one that does, like, it really wants you to meditate with it, and I feel like that's quite a gift. And so each of, let's go through the book. I'm going to knock this over. Okay. So this was about the deck, the imagery and symbols. And we have some colour, which is really important in painting, about the sigils here. So the ruler, the signature, and then a shorthand sigil. Reading the cards, branches of wands, tides of cups, spires of swords, and stones of pentacles. We have some spreads, clarity spread, Indo-Pain spread, and then we go into the major arcana. So for each card, we have the keywords, planet or zodiac, element, symbols, and then the sigil, and then action. So it's a really, really, really interesting deck that I would most likely be more inclined to use as a focus card or as a season card or as an oracle-ish deck. But we'll see. It's so beautiful. And then about the artist. So gorgeous. The Mindscapes Tarot, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. This is a brand new deck in my collection, the Witch of the Forest Tarot Magic deck. It has a little ribbon in it to help you get the cards out. And that's actually not cardboard, it's gold. It looks a little cardboardy. This is published by Leaping Hair Press, just like the charms. Okay. So it's a different shape to a standard tarot card. Let me get the standard. So it's a little bit bigger, but not too much. This cardstock, again, is cardstock that's going to chip. This was just me taking the paper belly band off. But these are really, I feel like these are marketed for younger people at a very low cost threshold kind of thing, you know what I mean? Just to get people into tarot, and I think that's wonderful, but they would chip for sure. So, and I can also see like there's been scratches, like these marks here. This is brand new out of the box. So this is not going to take any sort of punishment. There's gold, this sort of like, but it's not embossed. We have the planet and the zodiacs connected to each of them. And as you can see, it's very, very simple. I wanted to get this and check this out because I have seen it around a lot. It's really pretty. So far, this is not something I think that I would work with. I think this reminds me a little bit of a better deck for me that has better cardstock and imagery would be the Zodiac Tarot by US Game Systems. But I wanted to give you a quick flick through if you've seen this on your shelves in your bookstore. I mean, obviously this has been selling very well. I do see it quite often. But yeah, it's very flat, and at least it's fully illustrated, you know. I will give it that. You know how I feel about non-fully illustrated decks. You know, and it is Rider-Waite-Smith. It's going to be very easy to... Interesting that some of these are upside down. It is going to be very easy. Oh, no, I don't like that. Yeah, this is a hard no for me. These being upside down like this, no. And again, look at all the marks on this. They should be upright. The 9 of Cups should be upright. The 8 of Cups should be upright. In the Rider-Waite-Smith, the cups that are upside down for a reason, and maybe it's said in there, but so far not loving that. But I can see who would be drawn to this deck. And I'm glad that I got it just to, I guess, quench my curiosity. And yeah, again, at least it's fully upright. I feel like this would be a deck that you could use a lot and not be worried about, you know, ruining it. That's cool. So a beginner deck for sure. The white eyes kind of freak me out. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that's a bit... that's a little bit like, nobody's home. So that's also... So I don't think this is for me. But again, I wanted to show you just in case you've seen this around. And I would love to know in the comments, have you worked with it? What do you think? Do you agree that it is probably... I guess marketed to a younger crowd? But I do like the zodiac information here, you know, depending on how you view it. Okay, so let's have a quick look in the guidebook. So what is tarot? How to use this booklet? Tarot and astrology, very small, but if we've got at least the glyphs here. And the zodiac. Then we jump into the major arcana. And yeah, very, very basic information. Again, I think that, again, this is very for beginners. I do like that there's color-coded inside. But yeah, this would definitely be a tarot spreads here. A pass for me, even if I was a beginner. With the amount of gorgeous decks on the market, I don't think I would work with this one. But love to hear what you think. This is the Witch of the Forest charm casting kit. It comes with a board and 24 card charms, guidebook and bag. I want to let you know that I actually had this on my bookshelf, and I had another deck on top of it, and as you can see, it has dented the box. So the box came fine, but it dented the box. So just letting you know, if this is something you're looking to get, don't put other things on top of it. This is by Lindsay Squire and illustrations by Vicky Lester. And I mean, charm casting has been, the first time I came across it was Carrie Paris many years ago. Okay, so welcome to your magical journey of self-discovery. And then there's been quite a few different people who've been doing charm casting. So you get, it's interesting that the box dipped when all that is like right at the top. So there's a little cutout box. I mean, purple, black and gold, say less, my favorites. This is the book. A little pouch. And this is the charm board. So on the back side, we have charm casting. It's a bit of a missed opportunity considering that you could have had 2 boards, but I guess you can still cast and see what's going to happen through the moon phases, but then maybe not have charm casting in the middle, because it would have been cool if there was like 2 boards. So these are the boards. I'm going to move my little, so we can put that in the middle. There we go. So if you keep it in the box, it's going to boop, 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 not lie flat, but I imagine that wouldn't take very long if you took it out and flattened it. I would also be tempted to just glue it, the seam down, because if you're traveling a lot with it or you're storing it, especially if you're going to use it, then what might end up happening is it'll always do this and charms will slide. But they're flat charms, so the benefit of that is that even if you're not going to get too many that are sliding. So all of them have the backs that are purple with stars, and this is, a lot of people, when they're doing charm casting, if the charm is upside down, unless it's a 3D charm, which I have a few, they won't include it. They'll see it as like a reversal, or they'll take it off the board. So that's why it's got the backs. But here is an idea of the charms. They're nice and thick, so they will definitely take some, you will be able to use them quite a bit. And because this is mass market, it's very, very accessible. So we have gold detailing on each one. Just trying to pick them all up now that I threw them all over the board. Oh, there's more in here. The key and the acorns. So they're lovely illustrations. They're really beautiful charms. Or they're not really charms, are they? They're like cardboard bitsies. But I get what they're trying to do here. Although I don't know. I mean, this was cheap, like as in mass market accessible, which is great, because when you start putting silver in the mix for things, then things get a bit expensive. So yeah, this is a really sweet little kit. I do really like the board, so I might just glue it down. I'm just going to move these off so I can show you the book. So we have love and romance, friendships, hopes and wishes, money, family, home, career, work, health and well-being, spirituality, and then inside, trust your intuition, embrace, release, let go, future, self-support, focus lessons, then mind, spirit, emotional, and physical. So lots and lots in there. And then we have a little guide pamphlet. Introduction, how to get started, how to use the board. So we talk about up or upside down and if they're on top of each other. And then we get into the charms themselves. So just a jumping off point for doing this. I suspect this is going to do very well for beginners. and, you know, younger people as well, taking it to the next level. And there we go. So that is the charm casting kit. And it's really sweet. I look forward to playing around with it. This is the Atomic Element Healing Oracle. It's a 44 card deck by Amy Lee McCree and artwork by Kaja Perez. And this is a first of its kind deck made by a medical intuitive, Amy Marie McCree. Beautiful artwork, which is why I was really drawn to it. You have the atom on the back of the cards. This is by Hay House, so it's a standard Hay House size and standard Hay House cardstock. Okay, so now we go into the cards. So hydrogen, iron. I've never worked with this form of deck before, aluminum. That's so cool. Neon. You can hear the noise. It is my dog. Tantalum. Magnesium. Iodine. So gorgeous. Oxygen. Yeah, we all need oxygen. Nitrogen. Silver. Oh, that's really pretty. Helium. So it's interesting that these are like connected to, like that could be Kunyin. Xenon. Radon. Every time I go to record, it's always the dogs that start making noise, or someone starts mowing the lawn. Calcium. That's beautiful. Erbium. It's matte cardstock. It doesn't have any gloss, so you're not going to see any fingerprints on it. Cobalt. Bismuth. Polonium. See, that reminds me of Saraswati. Dysprosium. And if I am pronouncing any of these incorrectly, so be it. Darmstadtium. See, this reminds me of Baset or Sekhmet. So it's going to be interesting to see if there is that connection, sulfur, Gaia, to any of the goddesses, because it kind of looks like it. This could be Iris, like argon. Sodium. Euphorium. Let's rave. Uranium. Copper. I'm reading the Mistborn trilogy at the moment, and now I'm just thinking of all the copper, all the elements there. Magnesium. I'm on to book 2. Potassium. Beryllium. That's really cool. Lithium. Blossoms. Fluorine. Tungsten. Barium. Amelia, gold, Thor, that reminds me of. So again, I could be just making this up. Witrim or Ytrim, silicon, phosphorus, Aphrodite, boron, Nike maybe, carbon, Lakshmi, and there's Ganesha, rhenium, probably an archangel, vanadium. There's quite a few bee goddesses, but could be Demeter, selenium, chromium, and germanium. So I'm interested to see, what did they do with the book? Yeah, it's a really interesting deck. I would love to know if anyone has got this. So we have the Radiant Soul, about Creator, and then about the deck, an introduction, the science of atoms, states of matter and elements. Then we got the periodic table. Whew, sending me back to science school. Not science school, but science class. Beyond the science, goddesses, angels, and planetary healers. How to use the deck. So some spreads. Love that. The acceleration card says yes to your evolutionary fast track. And then there's some exercises allowing the element to attune to you, meditations, write a letter to the element. This is really cool. And then we jump into the cards. And then we have the being here, so Archangel Metatron. And then we have energetic healing properties, and then the sources is here too. I really like this. So Sophia, and then we have, this is really, really interesting. I was right with Sarasvati. Oh, Confucius, yeah, that makes sense. That was Sekhmet. Gaia. All right, so I got a few of them right. Probably didn't get any of the Shemel. There's Aphrodite. This is really cool. Sunflower seeds, sheep's milk, salmon cheese, quinoa. That's so fun. Quinine. Really, really interesting. And then acknowledgements. And then about the author. And about the artist. So cool. So that is the Atomic Element Healing Oracle. This is the Goddess Oracle deck by Kaja Perez, and the box is gold, like embossed, and this is by Leaping Hair Press. And I like that it's got the little ribbons so you can get the cards out. So this is 50 goddesses. The card size is much more on the size of a tarot deck. It's quite thin cardstock, like it's cardy cardstock, if that makes sense. If you have the True Heart Tarot, it's like that. These are the backs. It's not gilded. I'll go through the book after. So even you can see here, like it's, the edges here have already started to kind of like chip away. I mean, I don't really mind. It just means that it's going to look like it's been used. It is glossy. That was the word I was looking for. It is glossy. So let's jump into it. So we have the goddess name, the image, and then a affirmation. And these are goddesses from all over the world. So it being mass market, it is very accessible. And as you can see, these are very young, young looking images. So going to be probably very drawn to younger people, all those youths. But really beautiful. I really, really, really like the artwork a lot. And that there are goddesses in here that I haven't worked with a lot. Like this is a goddess I haven't worked with before. But then we have very iconic goddesses like Bridget. I'm not even going to try because I will butcher this goddess's name. Love the outfit. What I will say is that some of this seems very sort of inspired, maybe. Or maybe not, because they're wearing more traditional clothing. My Modern Goddess Oracle, which has been out for many, many years and has different goddesses, had that younger, well, actually not all of the goddesses were young looking because they are not all that way. But they're not all maiden goddesses. But they had that youthful clothing and things like that. But I mean, I'm not the first one to do a goddess deck either. Fortuna, beautiful. The images are really, really pretty. Green Tara. So it is a lovely way to start working with the goddesses. Yeah, she's really cool. I really, really like some of the depictions. This does feel very youthful in the artwork and in the execution. And it's nice to have a affirmation too, because you could put this on your altar if you wanted to, so that you have that affirmation with you or on your desk or wherever you have your cards for the day. This is the first time I'm seeing a lot of these images. It's interesting that some of them are the Roman cards and some of them are the Greek cards, like Minerva being the Roman depiction or evolution or version of Athena. I bend, I breathe, I relax. I love that. Yeah, it is very pretty. I've been wanting to do a goddess walkthrough of all of my, a show of all of my goddess decks. Sedna, one of my favorites. That's really pretty. was dreaming about diving and sharks in the ocean last night, actually. Scotty, I really like that too. She's gorgeous. So yeah, this is an interesting deck. There are definitely some goddesses in here that I have not worked with in my decks before. Some of them I have. So now we have two different cards at the end, a sun ritual and a moon ritual. And what could be really interesting is pulling a card for each, you know. So what moon ritual goddess can I work with during the moon, or what goddess can I work with during the sun? So those are two extras. So there's 48 goddesses and 2 extra cards. And we just have a little guidebook here. As the dog scratches at the table. And welcome to the deck. How to use the deck, using your deck for readings, and then getting into the cards. So we have little rituals here, which I really like. Again, this feels very similar to something that's familiar to me. But not all of the cards have their the actual image, just to let you all know. It feels like when it was fitting, when it could fit, which is fair enough. Because again, this is mass market. And then at the back, it looks like Kaja did actually write this book. So then we have the sun and moon ritual cards. Oh, sorry. So you do get, let's have a look. So we have the goddess name, Egyptian goddess of magic and motherhood, empowerment, protection, wisdom, and nurturing. And then a little bit about the goddess, and then a ritual. So we got keywords if you want to read with it in a divination way. Dog wants a ball behind the table. I'll have to get it for him after. And then the sun rituals. And then some moon rituals. So it's a sweet little deck. So that is the Goddess Oracle deck. The Sisterhood of the Seers Oracle is by Athena Laz, illustrated by Ana Santos, and this is another deck by Hay House. And we have beautiful, this is like already so gorgeous. So we have a standard Hay House box. This is watercolor art, so I'll go through the book after. And now we have the cards. This is pretty good cardstock. It doesn't feel as cardboardy. The lamination is actually quite lovely, and it's that matte. It's really interesting to see like the decisions. I don't know how they make the decisions on what kind of lamination they use in mass market. I have shuffled this. This is not in order. I've worked with this for a little bit as well. So just letting you know. So we have the seer, and then we have the keywords. And it's really the beautiful backs. Again, non-reversible, but I don't read reversals, so beautiful. Oh, so maybe it wasn't out of order. Maybe I just moved a few of the cards. But I love the portrait, and then the animal. There's constellations, there's different symbols. It's really very beautiful. We have different cards here. So this is an Seer. And this was interesting the way it was done. So for me, it's like, was this someone's artwork that was put into a deck, or a deck that was created? Because you could still have done a seer of signs, a seer of partnerships, a seer of appreciation, a seer of, you know, calling your power back. So I struggle a little bit with this disconjointed kind of thing, and this might just be me. I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments if you feel like this is just me being nitpicky. But you could have had like the seer of rainbows, and it could have been, you know, a bright future. So I was completely and utterly enthralled by this deck until we kind of got to these cards, and I'm putting them in separate piles to give you an idea. And it's not that it's not beautiful. This is so up my alley artwork style wise. I mean, I love like the turtle, love sea dragons and seahorses. Of course, I adore owls. You know, I really, I really do. But it was it felt like two different ideas in one deck. Like the Seer of Invitations would have been really cool. The Seer of Movement, you know, but that's because it's called the Sisterhood of the Seers. I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'm just being a dink. Because a lot of the cards are these. We will get back to some of the Seers at the beginning. But they are beautiful. So definitely not saying that they're not. And the cardstock is lovely. The lamination is beautiful. Oh, like I love whales. Like I so wanted this to be like a 10 out of 10 deck, and it just lacked for me. So what is this? We had 11 Seers. Seer of Spirit, Nature, Light, Stories. And I mean, you know, if it's designed that way, then that's great. But 11 Seers, if this is like the Sisterhood of the Seers, and we have 11 Seers, and then the rest of the deck is these cards. It just, for me, it feels like it's an unfinished or a bit of a discombobulated situation. And I really wanted to love this deck from that standpoint. But it is really beautiful. So about the Seers and then how to use the cards. Very, I feel like this is so stock standard for nearly every deck that I look through. And then questions to ask, which I really enjoy. And then Sisters, here you go. There's some invocations. And then the cards. So for the Seers, we have the essential meaning, the message, and an activation. And then for the other ones, we have the meaning, the message, and an affirmation. So it is really pretty. It's really beautiful. I would probably struggle working with it, but it is really gorgeous. So if this is a deck that you've worked with, I would love to hear. I'd love to hear from you, because it is really pretty. But yeah, I've kind of struggled with this one. This is the Yoga Mudra Oracle by Emma Wertheim, and this is by Seers. 44 card deck and 128 pages. And this is, the mudras are hand gestures of yoga. Now, I am definitely not a yogi. I do know a little bit about mudras from friends of mine and from people like Divine Hands Jim talking about the different mudras in the tarot. So bear with me while I share with you this deck with my limited experience and knowledge. So the cardstock is matte. It's very thin, but it's actually not too bad. Again, like, I just like saying that because people will ask. It is a very standard tarot. It might be a little bit smaller than a standard tarot, like shorter, so they're not too big. And I can say things like Akasha Mudra, but if there's any mispronunciation, I'm so sorry. Apan Mudra. This is about energy and energy circuits and the circuitry of that in your body, I believe. And there are lots of different ways to work with mudras in yoga. Some mudras are done specifically while doing specific mantras and meditations. But as I mentioned, I'm very limited to tell you about mudras overall. These are very clear cards to show you where the mudra, what the mudra looks like, and where the energy point is in this little sparkle. As you can see, there was Ganesha, and now we have Kali. So some of them are connected to Hindu deities. So I can imagine if you are a yogi, Padma, Rana, that this would be really lovely. Or if you, because there's like the yoga oracle, there's yoga decks, like tarot decks. This could be something that you build on. This could be something that you use in like a healing practice or a yoga practice, or even, body practice, breathing, if you want to incorporate it into your mudras, into your mantras and meditations. And there's a lot of cards in here, so it's not like you're getting just like 10 cards or 20 cards. There's a lot, so it will keep you busy. There's lots for you to learn. Vishnu. And then we have the book, which is colour. So this is the guide to using it. Love all the rainbows. Mudras are a sacred gift, a secret waiting to be revealed. Show the story of the oracle. And then the welcome. It's all full colour, which is gorgeous. And then how to prepare your hands for mudras. So this is all sacred work. How long do you hold it? What if it doesn't resonate? What if my hands can't make the shapes? Really great questions. Some why are intuitive non-traditionals included? What does each card include? So there's lots of information here. Preparing the deck. Layout options. So spreads. The chakras. And lastly, the card meanings. And so there you go. So we have the card meanings, and then the actual mudra meaning, and then the affirmation. So quite a lot of information in here. So even if this is a beginning stage for you working with mudras, this is a great way to learn them. And then about the art, and then an index. Gorgeous. So this is the Yoga Mudra Oracle. This is the Magick Oracle cards by Samra Haksiva. And I want to say again that I really wanted this to be a deck that I really, really wanted to love this, and I really, really struggled with it. I loved the idea of it, and we're going to get into why. But I wanted to show you what was in here because you might come across it and be interested, and so you can see what you would get before. So this is 36 cards, which is very reminiscent of a Lenormand, but it's not. And where the Lenormand is very unfussy and very clear, I felt like this was completely the opposite for me. So the cards are smaller in size, which I don't hate. I really like the backs, and I really, really like the idea of this. But where I struggle is in its almost unnecessary fussiness, because there's so much in just one card. It is a lot, and I get that you're supposed to choose a section. So this. It's like, but there's so much there, right? Where it is, it for me, I have ADHD, girl. Like I need less. There's a lot in these cards. So I feel like some of this could have been put in the guidebook, like put the yes, no in the guidebook. It could be just be, and then the theme upright is you're protected. And then if you had it, the struggle is like if you got it reversed, the struggle is over. But then you've got these things too. Some things are beyond your control, and then you know exactly what to do. It's like that's a lot in a card. But I really like the individual elements of them. I like the imagery. I like all of these keys around here. I like the yes and no. I like the keywords. It's just the execution feels a little clumsy to me. And I would get so confused by all the information. It's like this would feel like too many voices trying to tell me stuff, even though you are meant to focus on one thing or another. There's still just so much words and information on the cards. I really, really struggle with it. So like for me, how is a breakthrough incoming a no? How is money, go for it, a no? How is very soon it will be worth it, a no? How is this is only temporary, a no? Like it's so fucking confusing. It's like it feels just very discombobulated. So I really do like a lot of the individual elements of this. The cardstock is lovely. It's a really smooth lamination. Everything has been done really, really well. And if this is the way that Selma reads, and this is the way that Selma kind of does their thing, then it is really gorgeous. It's just too much for me. And I would love to hear, I don't think I've seen anyone working with this deck on YouTube. Let me know, like, have you worked with this? Is this something that you've been able to connect with? Are you enjoying this? Like, I love this phone call to the moon. Like, I just think it's all so cool. But again, it would be very, very, very intense to try and read. Like, I love this. The Hour with Sunnies, like, it's so dope. But it's a lot. Party salamanders, you know, party lizards. It's just so cool. I just wish it was like this, for example, was the whole thing, the elevator, that was put in the guidebook. And then these two were here. And then these were done, like maybe different cards were done for this. That's how I would kind of, I guess, fine tune this. But that's just me, because it is really, really fun. Like, I love the shadow card. Like, shadow is yes. It's so weird. It's just me. Oh, there we go. The spirits. No, there's a phone call. Yeah. And then follow your ideas through as a no. What is it like to be you as a no? I just, like, I can't with it. And this is the book. Okay, so let's go through it. I love that it's full color. Introduction, the cards and messages, how to use the deck. So here's a connection ceremony and ritual, spells to open your intuitive channels, spell to awaken your third eye, psychic tea, and then pulling cards for immediate yes or no answers, which is great. Like, you can just go yes, no, and look at nothing else. And then other things. So this is the way that it is built, is it's like one card is upright, then it's like this, and then it's portrait, landscape, portrait. So I totally get that there's lots of different ways to work with it. But yeah, it's very it feels discombobulated. There are tons of spreads in here though. But again, if this was, for me, a problem-solving spread, I get so overwhelmed. I would be not even sure how to answer that one. And even in here, it's not done like this isn't 1, 2, 3. So it's a bit confusing for me. A candle spell, connecting with pets, love spells, spirits. Like, there's heaps in here. Secret messages within the cards, how to store your deck. So we've 50 pages in and we're just, which is great. This is a fantastic introduction. And then we have the cards. So a lot is in here, especially for an oracle deck. And then air. This is more about this here, like, but not much is kind of given to anything else. You know, it talks about the image, the snake. So yeah, I think this was done really, really well. I just think it was a little bit done. The execution, I would have done it differently, but it's not my fucking deck, so. But the Modern Manga Tarot, oops. But it is really, really cool. I'd love to hear if anyone's been working with it. And maybe I'm just like putting my own thing on it and my own ADHD on it. So let me know if you've been working with this. But this is the Magick Oracle cards. 40 spells and other magic with 36 cards and guidebook. Which one of these decks would you smash or pass? Are there any of them that are intriguing you or ones that you are already working with? Let me know in the comments below, remembering that a quick comment or a little engagement with this video really helps my little channel appease the algorithm gods of Google. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.